Well, welcome everybody to our ACES and Libraries and Archives workshop, Styling with APA Style. My name is Cynthia Kane, and I'm a professor and director of assessment here at the ESU Libraries and Archives. You can see that you can reach me at ckane1.emporia.edu, and you can also call me at 620-341-5480. If you ever have any follow-up questions about how to work with APA citations or in-text citations or anything like that, you're welcome to contact me. And also, if you would like to set up a Zoom session with me, which would be very similar to what I'm using to record this session today, I'd be more than happy to do that with you. We can share our screens back and forth, and sometimes we can answer questions within about 5 minutes time that might take a little bit longer if we were trying to play tag team through email or even through the phone. So we'll go ahead and get started. So what we're going to do first is think about the differences between APA, or the American Psychological Association, and other citation styles. And one of the key differences is actually the philosophy behind the citation style. With APA, we are actually focusing upon scientific research with an eye toward publication. And essentially that is covered in one of the FAQs, or frequently asked questions, for APA style on their website. That rules of style in scientific writing encourage full disclosure of essential information and allow us to dispense with minor distractions. Basically, that means that particular citation styles will help to standardize scientific writing in particular. Now, a lot of you may be familiar with MLA, or the Modern Language Association citation style. That's really more designed for humanities disciplines, such as English, modern languages, and other types of the humanities. There's another one out there that's called the Chicago style, and you might be familiar with that. That tends to be used sometimes in some social sciences, such as history, but mainly we tend to focus a little bit more upon APA and MLA. So therefore, APA in-text references and citations focus upon the year of the publication and the accuracy of complex material. This is going to make a little bit more sense as we start to compare the same citation or the same reference to a journal article in 3 different citation styles. So let's look at some of the differences. The first one is APA. One of the first things we notice immediately is that the initials of the first names of the authors are actually listed and used with APA citations. We're going to come back to that in just a little bit and basically visit a little bit more about why that is the case. Another difference we see is that directly following the authors, we have the year of publication in parentheses. And we looked at that at the previous slide. Remember that with APA style, often we're focusing upon the currency of information. And so after the authors are listed, the next important part for a researcher to focus upon would be the year of the publication, to see whether it's current or whether it's a little bit dated. We also notice with the title of the journal article, basically the article title itself, that generally just the first word of the title and also the first word of the subtitle immediately following the colon are capitalized. The following words are actually in lowercase, and you also notice that unlike the Chicago Manual of Style, and also unlike MLA, with APA style, we are not using double quotation marks around the article title. Again, another key stylistic difference. With the Chicago Manual of Style, which is author date, and the MLA style, you'll see that those look quite a bit alike. We tend to capitalize the major titles of the article title and look at the authors. You notice that with Chicago and with MLA, we are actually spelling out the first names of the authors, again, unlike APA. APA also doesn't necessarily want to focus upon gender bias, and that's actually another reason why APA style will use just the initials of the first names of the authors. With Chicago and with MLA, the focus is a little bit more upon very complete information. So again, there are some key differences among those three citation styles. One thing that I do want to caution, being a librarian, we often deal with very frustrated students at the reference desk, and their frustration comes from the fact that many electronic databases, many research databases from libraries, have something called a cite feature or citation tools. Now, that makes it incredibly easy to generate a citation in a specific citation style from the reference to an article or book or other resource from a database. And it's really nice to be able to do that. It's convenient. You can copy and paste the information and then plug that into a working bibliography or a working references list. But here's the frustration. Those are not always 100% accurate because it depends on what we call the metadata of a bibliographic record. The metadata simply means the original information that was in that record. So you might have to do a little bit of editing, particularly when it comes to APA style, to get that 100% correct. And I gave you an example. This is from a database that we have from the library that's called Academic Search Premier. And this is a citation that I generated using a citation tools feature, and I generated an APA style, and I just pasted it into this PowerPoint presentation. You can immediately see some of the errors. So what you notice, for example, is that all of the words, all of the nature words in the article title are capitalized. Well, we don't do that with APA style. But the reason that happened was that in the original bibliographic record that was in that database, all those words were capitalized. And the system is just simply not intuitive enough to recognize that that's going to be an APA citation and then convert it appropriately. So there are some other things we'd have to look at as well. For example, let's take a look at the title of the journal. National Journal of Physiology, Pharmacy, and Pharmacology. Notice that the word "of" is capitalized. Normally that would be in lowercase. Again, that word was capitalized in the original bibliographic record that came from that database. And again, the system was not intuitive enough just to go ahead and convert that into lowercase. So always double check, triple check any citations that you generate from a cite or citation tools feature in a database, because they may be correct, but on the other hand, you just may need to do a little bit of editing to make sure that they correspond with APA citation style or whatever citation style you happen to be using. So in the next few minutes, I'm actually going to show you some of these links on this slide, because I am a big believer in looking for help online. APA style can be a little bit challenging, and all of these different links that I have for you are different ways of just getting more help with what you need. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to share our first one. Before we do that though, I do want to draw your attention to the first item that's listed, the publication manual of the American Psychological Association in print. If you are here on the Emporia campus, come to the library, because we have 2 copies of the APA publication manual in print here at the reference desk of our library up on the 2nd floor, and you're more than welcome to take a look at that. And you may also own your own print copy. Something to notice though, that was actually printed in 2009, almost 10 years ago. And because it was printed almost 10 years ago, there have actually been a lot of changes, particularly in ways of citing and referencing electronic media, such as social media, Twitter feeds, Facebook postings, and the like. And I'm going to show you as we get down to another link with the APA Style blog how you can find out different and updated ways of doing APA citations for items that are not covered in print. So let's go ahead and share one of our next screens. So this is the first link that I have on my slide for you. And you'll notice that this is coming directly from the American Psychological Association website, APA style. There are a lot of websites out there that will tell you a little bit about how to do APA style with citations. And one in particular I do rely upon. We're going to look at that in just a moment as well. But I also rely very heavily upon anything that's directly from the American Psychological Association, because they are also the folks, the association, that's responsible for the APA publication manual. So this is just basically a frequently asked questions list. What is APA style? Can you send it to me? Well, probably not. But if you click on View All Frequently Asked Questions, this will also tell you not only general information about APA style, but also a quick overview of how to do a citation at APA for most commonly needed items, such as a book review, a newspaper article, Facebook, Twitter, as I mentioned, page numbers, bibliography. Let's look at Facebook for just a second. And you'll notice that there are some examples for citing social media that are in the print edition of APA, but also there's a social media section of the APA style blog. So I could go directly to this link and find out how to cite different components of social media. And this is a good segue, because the next link I wanted to show you that's also on that PowerPoint slide is the APA style blog. This is probably my favorite part of the APA site. The APA style blog is actually updated on a very regular basis by people that work directly for the American Psychological Association. And you notice they have a best of that they put together for 2018. What I really love about this is that you notice that they have a lot of different links about what is APA style. They have links to sample papers, so you can actually see what a research paper looks like in APA style. And we'll let that load. So there you go. You can see what a running head looks like, what your cover page should look like, an abstract or a summary of your paper, how the paper should be formatted, all the way down to the references. And in APA style, when you write a paper, you do not call it a bibliography or a works cited page as you would with MLA style. You do call it references. So there's just a lot of different things you can do over here. The other thing I like about the APA style blog is that I can search directly for a question. So if I search for Facebook, APA style blog, talking about Facebook, how to cite a hashtag, how to cite social media, personal communications, and how to do that is in terms of an in-text citation as well. So I do use the APA style blog quite a bit if I'm dealing with a question from a student or from a faculty member about a specific item that's not really that common. It's not a book or a journal article, and I'm just really not sure how to cite that. Often I will go to the APA style blog and do a search, and I'm getting information from the recommended experts right there from APA. So that's another reason that I like to use that. The third link that I want to show you from our slides is the OWL Online Writing Lab, the OWL at Purdue site for the APA Formatting and Style Guide. Now, this is not specifically sponsored by APA as such. It is sponsored by the Online Writing Lab at Purdue University. This is a highly reliable site, however. They also have similar sites from the Online Writing Lab for MLA style and also the Chicago Manual of Style. And what I love about this is that it gives you a quick summary of what APA style actually is, general guidelines, but look over here on the left side of your screen. I can get a very quick overview of the way in-text citations work with APA style. Now, an in-text citation simply means that if you're using a direct quote from someone, or if you're paraphrasing something from a book or journal article or other source, you're actually giving credit to that person or to those authors within the text of the paper. That's what in-text citations actually mean. And you'll notice with APA style, we tend to use the last name of the author, and again, remember that focus upon the year. We will generally focus upon the last name of the author and the year. Sometimes page numbers are listed as well, but again, that focus tends to be more upon the year for currency of information. And you can also click over here for a basic rules list of the way your references should look at the end of the paper. How they should be centered, the spacing, and so forth. And remember, back on the APA style blog, we saw a sample paper of the way a paper would look formatted with APA style. We also have the same thing here at the Owlet Purdue site. So we can click on APA sample paper, and you can see again, they tend to use green text boxes to explain APA style guidelines, and blue boxes for directions on writing and citing in APA style. And again, you can scroll through this paper and see exactly how your paper should be set up. So that is the OWL at Purdue site for the APA Formatting and Style Guide. Again, not sponsored by APA, but a highly reliable site for this type of information. And I use this quite a bit in my own research, and I also refer a lot of students and other faculty to it. The next link is a very basic link. This is not intended to be comprehensive. This is a link to an APA citation style guide that I wrote, basically for our students and our faculty. Now, you notice it's not terribly comprehensive. The reason is that I intended this one to be just a very, very quick help guide if you need to see how to format a journal article, for example, for one author, something with the DOI, the Digital Object Identifier, 2 to 6 authors, magazine, online, and so forth. So again, this is not intended to be comprehensive, but it can give you at least a start if you need a quick refresher of the way a particular citation should look for the references list for your paper. And you can get to that. The link is on that slide as well, but you can also get to that by going to libguides.emporia.edu/APA. And one of the last links that I listed on your slides is a link to an online tutorial for the basics of APA style. You do have to have Flash enabled on your computer to play this, but what I really love about this is, look at this organization on the side. You don't have to watch all of these tutorials if you don't want to. So, for example, let's click on this one for reducing bias in language. And this one is actually telling me a little bit about how language can wind up being biased without even really realizing it when we're writing in APA style. You notice it says that APA is committed to objectivity and scientific reporting, as well as fair treatment of individuals and groups. So if I needed a refresher on the guidelines and how I can actually write my paper accordingly, I can just take a look at that very quickly. And you notice none of these are very long. Here's a quick overview of the way the reference list should look. I can view specific reference examples and so forth. And I can also click down here for other sample papers, a sample appendix, and sample references. So often, if I just need a very quick overview on a very specific part of APA citation style, I will go to this tutorial and then just pop in and just watch the specific video tutorial that I need. It's sort of like watching a YouTube video on a how-to. And let's go back over here. And that is the link to the APA tutorial that we just looked at. So I wanted to wind up with ways that you can get some help when you are writing a paper and trying to organize your information accordingly. There are some freely available bibliographic software programs. And if you are around here on the Emporia campus, we'll also be recording this one. One of my colleagues, Bethany Odell, and I will be doing a follow-up workshop with bibliographic software programs called Get Your Research Together. And that's going to be on Wednesday, October 3rd from 4 to 4:30 p.m. Central Standard Time in the library electronic classroom on the second floor of the library. If you're interested in knowing a little bit more about Zotero or Mendeley, and there are a lot of other programs out there, don't hesitate to contact me again at ckane1@emporia.edu. Both of these allow downloading of citations. You can basically download citations directly from the web or directly from a database, but you can organize them into folders or collections for your research needs. So you can have different folders or different collections going for all types of research projects, and they will also help you generate bibliographies automatically. Actually, Zotero in particular integrates very nicely into Microsoft Word. So you can be typing your paper in Microsoft Word, pop into Zotero, and immediately import your references, import your in-text citations. Very nice, seamless interface. So again, we will be covering that on Wednesday, October 3rd. But if you're interested in more information about these, don't hesitate to contact me as well. And again, I am Cynthia Kane. You can reach me at ckane1@emporia.edu or call me at 620-341-5480. I really look forward to hearing from you. I wish you all the best for academic success in all of your papers and projects. Good luck.